energy that can be shed. And so it's a very complementary. What's also interesting is what came out of this is some work that in looking at AI and Bitcoin mining and how the two work together. AI, when you're doing learning, is generally a constant load. But as you move into inference, that load starts resembling the traffic patterns of search. And if you look at Google search patterns during the course of the day, it's a bit like electricity demand. It has certain peaks and valleys during the course of the day. And so if you have Bitcoin mining that can be overclocked and underclocked, working together with an AI site, you can generate a consumption that is flat to the grid, which is the most important thing for the utilities in the grid, is that your demand for energy isn't varying because they have to vary the supply then. But if you can continually draw the exact same amount, it makes managing the grid much easier. And so this complement of Bitcoin mining and AI all of a sudden is becoming very interesting. So an offshoot of this Kenya deal is that we are very actively engaged now with people developing data centers, large hyperscalers, to be that variable offtake. Because in our technology group, we've developed a type of immersion technology. We call it two-phase immersion. And in that system, we can overclock miners over 60% and we can underclock them way down, which means that we have this huge flexible load that we can have running in parallel with an AI data center. And whenever they are not using full load, we can overclock our miners and consume whatever they're not using. And when they need more, we can actually underclock our miners. And so what I think you're going to see in the very near future is more and more deals where Bitcoin miners and AI operators are going to co-locate. And that's going to become very interesting.
Yeah, because I didn't know there was almost like a duck curve issue with the AI in a way, right? It's kind of what you're explaining there, and how that flexibility of Bitcoin miners, from my understanding, is extremely unique, right? And so, how do you see that playing out? Do you see it more like similar to what we saw with Core Scientific and CoreWeave? Do you see kind of deals like that happening? Do you see partnerships? Do you see these large companies actually getting into Bitcoin mining? Yeah.
No, it's a very different model. I think what you're going to see is Bitcoin miners working with data center developers to basically be the power regulator at the site. So control the interconnect, control the site, and be able to be this flexible load according to the needs of the AI operator. And then whoever the AI operators that comes in there will be paying the data center operator, some form of hosting fee most probably, and then paying for their share of the energy. And we sit there as a partner to the data center operator, working together. In the case of the CoreWeave deal with CoreWeave is essentially paying for the infrastructure. They're fronting the money to build this site. It's a great, in the case of, Core Scientific, they have these great sites with great internet connections, which makes a lot of sense. But the CoreWeave deals are one-offs. I don't think you're going to see other miners be able to achieve anything near similar. If you're going to really be successful long-term in the AI space as a Bitcoin miner, you're not going to operate HPC. It makes no sense for Bitcoin miners to be operating NVIDIA rigs or investing in them. It's so capital intensive and they get obsoleted. NVIDIA is obsoleting their technology every 6 months. So when you look at the cost, I'll give you an example. A 200 megawatt site for an AI operator is a $4 billion investment, right? There's $800 million of infrastructure, buildings, networking equipment, et cetera, and then $3.2 billion of rigs, right? A 200 megawatt Bitcoin mining site's about, at the high end, $200 million of investment for a Bitcoin miner. It's a totally different scale. You're talking 20x, right? So, and Bitcoin miners don't know how to operate HPC sites. I think anybody who says that is really, giving you a load of baloney, because the network design, the architecture of the site, the uptime requirements, the need for redundant power, all of that does not exist in Bitcoin mining, right? Think about it. Bitcoin miners don't have redundant power. Bitcoin miners typically sit behind the meter. They shed load whenever they have to. They're operating in containers. They don't have sophisticated networks. They just need their miners to connect to a pool and share their workloads. So I think really as we look at this industry, once the hype of all these people coming up with these announcements, like are they announcing they're going to be an HPC company? Come on, it's a load of crock. At the end of the day, what you're going to find is they're going to be large Bitcoin miners who partner with data center builders who are building hyperscaler scale sites, gigawatt sites. And they're going to be that essentially flexible load that acts as the companion to the AI that makes these sites much more economical for the AI operators to run.